All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a really tough workplace dilemma that, let's be honest, many of us have seen or even dealt with. We're drawing from the Open Melon newsletter to ask a question that really puts our professional judgment head to head with our personal feelings.
And yeah, this question, it cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? What do you do when a great person just isn't a great performer? It's that classic battle between your gut, which says they're so nice, and your business sense, which says the work isn't getting done. It's the kind of thing that can totally paralyze a manager.
So, here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll meet the likable underperformer. Then we'll expose the myth of good attitude, look at the very real hidden costs of doing nothing, explore what it means to build an uncomfortable meritocracy, and finally, figure out how we can find the right balance in all this.
All right, so let's kick things off by meeting the person at the very center of this whole mess. I bet you can picture this person right now, can't you? We all know them, the good vibe colleague. They are the social glue of the office. Always smiling, always has a great attitude, jumps to help anyone who asks. I mean, the whole team absolutely loves them. On the surface, they look like the perfect employee.
But a job isn't just about being pleasant, is it? It's about delivering. It's about making an impact. And when you actually peel back the personality and look at their real performance, well, the story changes a lot.
And when you chart out the actual results, whoa, the disconnect is just undeniable. While everyone else is hitting their targets, our likable colleague is way, way down at the bottom. The data doesn't have feelings. It just tells the truth. And the truth is, despite the great attitude, the output just isn't there.
So how does this happen? How does this situation go on and on? It's propped up by this powerful, invisible force that the source calls the myth of good attitude. Think of it like this, that good attitude becomes a kind of shield, right? It's like this social permission slip that just excuses the poor performance. It deflects any real, honest feedback. It basically protects them from the tough decisions that need to be made. It's a force field made of friendliness.
And this forces a really uncomfortable question for any leader. I mean, in a perfect world, we get both in one person. But let's be real, that's not always how it works. So you have to ask, what does your culture truly reward? Is it being popular? Or is it being a performer who actually moves the company forward? Now, you might be thinking, okay, what's the big deal? Let them be. But here's the thing. Ignoring this problem is not a neutral choice. It has real, tangible consequences that spread like ripples across the entire organization. Let's dig into these hidden costs.
Because guess what? The rest of the team, they see everything. Your top performers end up picking up all the slack, and pretty soon they're overloaded, and honestly, they're getting resentful. Your whole culture starts to shift. You're now rewarding sympathy instead of impact. You're sending a message that being nice is more important than being effective. And the final step? You lose your best people because they see the system is unfair, and they'll go somewhere that values their contributions.
Okay, so that's the problem. What's the fix? The source argues that we need to build an uncomfortable meritocracy. Now, I know, that phrase might sound a little harsh, but stick with me. Let's unpack what it actually means to build a truly powerful team. And it all starts with this core principle right here. Good intentions and good vibes are great, but they are not enough. The most powerful teams are built on something way more solid. A foundation of clarity, of metrics, and yeah, of brave decisions. First up, they are built with clarity. Everyone on the team knows exactly what winning looks like. The standards are crystal clear. There's just no room for guessing. Next, they are built with metrics. In these teams, performance isn't just a vibe or a feeling. It's measured. You have trackable results that take all the personal bias and guesswork out of the equation. And finally, and this might be the most crucial part, the whole thing is held together by brave decisions. This is where leaders have to step up. They have the hard conversations, they enforce the standards, and they make the choices that are fair to the entire team, not just the ones that are comfortable for one person. Okay, so meritocracy, metrics, brave decisions, it all sounds a little cold, doesn't it? A bit like a robot factory. But that is not the goal here. The point isn't to be ruthless, it's to be fair. So, how do we find that all-important balance? Well, it really requires this kind of nuance. We should absolutely value attitude, of course we should, but we can't let it hide inefficiency. We should definitely recognize effort, but we have to also demand impact. And we need to build a culture of constant feedback that isn't just about praise, but also about correcting course.
So how do you actually do this? The source gives a super clear 4-step guide. First, define what good performance actually looks like. Get clear on those standards. Second, do regular check-ins and evaluations, not just some big, scary annual review. Third, when you're doing your analysis, make a conscious effort to separate their attitude from their actual output. And fourth, you have to be honest, even when it's uncomfortable, because real fairness means facing reality. All right, let's lock in the key takeaways here. Remember this: good vibes without results, that's just internal marketing. A great attitude is a huge plus, but it can never be a shield. Being a leader is about being fair to everyone on your team, not just about being liked by one person. And maybe most importantly, that conversation you're dreading, the really uncomfortable one, it's probably the most necessary one you need to have.
And that leaves us with one last, really provocative question to think about. I want you to take a hard, honest look at your own workplace. When it all comes down to it, what gets rewarded? Is it real, measurable impact? Or is it just the person with the biggest smile? The answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about the kind of team you're actually building. Thanks for tuning in to The Explainer.